Okay, so during Lent, uh, been invited to do a Sunday school course at my church concerning the Trinity, the historical Jesus, and the evidences of his resurrection. And in doing that class, I mean, it's stuff that I had a pretty solid working knowledge of already, but it's always good to do some additional homework, and I did. And I was examining the notion that a lot of modern, largely faithless scholars are still putting forth, and that is the notion that when the apostles perceived that Jesus was risen from the dead, and make no mistake about it, they historically, just as a matter of pure history, they did perceive that he was risen from the dead. They and Paul viewed it as more of a spiritual resurrection, not so much a bodily resurrection. And they take a handful of quotes from Paul to demonstrate this in 1 Peter 3:18. Now these two are the same verses that JWs use to show that Jesus had not risen bodily but rose instead spiritually. Now what's interesting about these two theories is the faithless scholars are going to say then it evolved into him being risen bodily. The JWs will say that Jesus just, well, I don't know what they really say about. I mean, does a spirit have flesh and bones? Let me eat a piece of flesh, a piece of fish. Pretty much to show that he wasn't spirit, but JWs still take away from it that Jesus was just materializing flesh for their sake. It's idiotic. It's the Witch Tower. What do you want? But I wanted to show the JWs watching this. I wanted to ask you, before I talk a little bit about this book. So we have here 1 Corinthians 3:21 talking about Christ, who will refashion our humiliated body to be conformed to his glorious body, according to the operation of the power that he has, even subject all things to himself. Paul is talking about Christ changing our bodies to be like his glorious body. It's kind of like in Colossians 2:9, the fullness of deity dwells in him bodily. Now I want to show you the word for body. It is his glorious Soma. Okay, Soma. For years, I dispensed this muscle relaxant called Soma that people can get high off of, not realizing that it's the Greek word for body, and then it made sense. Psychosomatic. Something that is psychosomatic is in your mind that affects your soma, body. Now, here's the thing. This theory that kind of got its legs in, I believe, 19th century apostate liberal Protestantism said, well, soma doesn't really mean body. It kind of means the whole person, not actually, body. And here's why I had Soma in Biblical Theology by Robert Gundry up. This is about 30 years or so ago. Gundry took this idea out for a walk, shall we say, and he found it utterly wanting. And I believe he searched all around the first century documents, and anywhere you went, it meant the body in its physicality. So, JWs, what are you thinking here when it says that Christ will refashion our weakened, humiliated bodies into his glorious body? And when it has been researched, it has been looked into, and there is no other conclusion that can be drawn but Christ having a glorified flesh and bone body. Not some kind of vague ethereal spirit body, but a glorified flesh and bone flesh and bone body. What do you think also, JWs? this theology of yours, like I said, it got its legs in it partially got its legs in 19th century apostate Protestantism, and it's like your leadership just kind of picked out the part and modified it a bit. Does that make you feel good about it either? You know, yeah, I've definitely came upon something that in Watchtower theology that a major chink in its armor, and believe me, otherwise, Watchtower theology is pretty much it's an impenetrable fortress. You can't really debunk it. All right, I try to say that one with a straight face. Yeah, but that's it, and I just thought I'd share it with you guys. And JWs, think about it, please.